हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण उषा देवादी माता जी ननु प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्राणदे माता जी ननु प्रणाम। Hare Krishna to all the devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances and nanu pranam to all of you. I invite you to the early morning short Bhagavatam class organized by ISKCON Radha Govinda Temple, Kulai, Mangaluru. And indeed, I invite you for and on behalf of His Grace, Sri Namarishta Das Prabhuji. We begin with our prayers. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो वैष्णवपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुः श्रीयुतपदकमलं कमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सागर रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते
भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम
ओम नमो
भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमम्।
नारायणं
नारायणं
नमस्कृत्य
नमस्कृत्य नरं
नरं
चैव
चैव नरोत्तमम्
नरोत्तमम्
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
देवीं
देवीं
सरस्वतीं
सरस्वतीं
व्यासं
व्यासं
ततो
ततो
जयमुदीरयेत्।
जयमुदीरयेत्।
शृण्वतां स्वकथः कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः।
शृण्वतां
शृण्वतां
स्वकथां
सुकथाः
कृष्ण
कृष्णः
पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनम्
पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः।
कीर्तनः
हृदयन्तस्तु यभद्राणि विदुनोति सुरस्तथा।
हृदयन्तो
हृदयन्तस्तो
ह्यभद्राणि
ह्यभद्राणि
विधुनोति
विधुनोति
सुहृत्सताम्।
सुहृत्सताम्।
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया।
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
अभद्रेषु
नित्यं
नित्यं
भागवतसेवया
भागवतसेवया।
भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
भगवते
भगवते उत्तमश्लोके
उत्तमश्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
All right. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Prescribed Duties of Humankind, Chapter number 3, Yamaraja's Instructions to his Dutas. Sloka number 3. Shuka Vacha Bhagavat Purushai Rajan Yamya Pratihatodhyama Pati Vigyapaya Surya Ayam Sayam Manipatitam. Madhumai Mataji, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranams, Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Shuka Uvacha. Bhagavat Purushai Rajan. Yamyaha Pratihatodyamaha. Patim Vijñapayamasur Yamam Samyamani Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Venkata Narasimha Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Sri
Hare Krishna.
Uvacha Bhagavat Purushai Rajan Yamya Pratihatojyamaha Patim Vignapayama Suryamam Samyamani Patim. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you. Suramya Madhvi Devi Dasi ji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam.
Hello,
Shri Shuka Vacha Bhagavat Purushai Rajan Yamyah Pratihatodhyamaha Patim Vijñapayam Asuram Yamam Samyahitam Patim. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Pranandini Madhvi Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी प्रणाम प्रभु जी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय श्री सुक उवाच भगवत् पुरुषे राजन् यम्यः प्रतिहतोत्तमः पतिं विज्ञापयर्मासुः तमं संजमनिं पतिम् हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna. Rest of the people could keep the hand raised, and these devotees will sing the next one. We are taking 3 verses today. Pranandini Mataji, can you read the synonyms for us?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Synonyms. Sri Sukha Uvacha. Sukadev Goswami said, Bhagavat Guru say, by the order carriers of the Lord, the Vishnu Dutas, Rajan, O King, Yamyaha, the order carriers of Yamaraja, Pratihata Udyamaha, whose efforts were defeated, Patim, their master, Vigyapayam Asuhu, informed, Yamam, Yamaraja, Samyamani Patim, the master of the city of Samyamani. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Pranandini Mataji. Translation. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Sukadeva Goswami replied, My dear king, when the order carriers of Yamaraja were baffled and defeated by the order carriers of Vishnu, they approached their master, the controller of Samyamani Puri, and master of sinful persons, to tell him of this incident. Basically, these 3 verses are the beginning of the reply of Sukadeva Goswami for the questions that had been asked by Parikshit Maharaj. We'll take the next verse, and those who have kept their hand raised, we'll continue with them. Madhumati Vilasini Mataji. Go ahead, Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय यं दूता ऊचुः कति सन्तीह शास्तारो जीवलोकस्य वै प्रभो त्रैविध्यं कुर्वतः कर्म फलाभिव्यक्तिहेतवः. थैंक यू प्रभु जी. हरे कृष्ण.
Thank you. Revati Ratnangi Devi Dasi. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. प्रणाम प्रभु जी. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. यमदूता ऊचुः कति सन्दिह शास्त्रो जीवलोकस्य वै प्रभो त्रिविद्यां कुर्वितः कर्मफलाभिव्यक्ति हेतवः. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Thank you. Usha Dayavati Devi Dasi ji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी. प्रणाम प्रभु जी. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. यमदूता ऊचुः कति सन्ति शास्त्रो जीवलोकस्य वै प्रभो त्रैविध्यं कुर्वता कर्म फल अभिव्यक्ति हेतवः. थैंक यू प्रभु.
Thank you. Uttama Padma Devi Dasi.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. यमदूत ऊचुः कति सन्ति हसातारो जीवलोकस्य वै प्रभो त्रैविध्यं कुर्वतः कर्म फलाभिव्यक्ति हेतवः. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी.
Thank you very much. Rest of you can do the next verse. Yamaduta Uchuhu Kati Santi Hasastaro Jivato Kasya Vai Prabho Traividya Kurvataha Karma Palavivyakti Hetavaha. Uttama Padma Mataji, could you read synonyms for us?
या प्रभु. Sure.
Go ahead, Mataji.
Synonyms. Yamaduta Vuchu, the order carriers of Yamaraja said, Kati, how many, Santi, are they, Iha, in this world, Shastraha, controllers or rulers, Jivalokasya, of this material world, why indeed, Prabhu, O Master, Trividyam, under the three undermost of material nature, Kurvataha, performing, Karma, activity, Pala, of the results, Abhivekti, of the manifestation, Hetavaha, causes. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Uttama Padma Mataji. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Yamadutas said, Our dear Lord, how many controllers or rulers are there in this material world? How many causes are responsible for manifesting the various results of activities performed under three modes of material nature? That is Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. Purport. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that the Yamadutas, the order carriers of Yamaraja, were so disappointed that they asked their master, almost in great anger, whether there were many masters other than him. Furthermore, because the Yamdutas had been defeated and their master could not protect them, they were inclined to say that there was no need to serve such a master. If a servant cannot carry out the orders of his master without being defeated, what is the use of serving such a powerless master? We'll go to the last verse. Okay, this is fifth verse, and Chitra Mohini Devidasi ji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. यदि स्युः बहवः लोके, सॉरी प्रभु जी, यदि स्युः बहवः लोके शास्तारो दण्डधारिणः
कस्य स्यातां न वा कस्य मृत्युश्च अमृतं एव वा. हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी. थैंक यू प्रभुजी.
Thank you, Mataji. Usha Bhatt Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. प्रणाम प्रभु जी. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. यदि स्युर्बहवो लोके शास्तारो दंडधारिणः कस्य स्यातां न वा कस्य मृत्युश्च मृतमेव वा. थैंक यू प्रभु जी. हरे कृष्ण.
Thank you, Mataji. Vijaya Kumari Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. धन्यवाद प्रणाम. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. यदि युवर्भगवो लोके शास्त्रो दंडधारिणः दस्य स्यादां न वा कस्य मृत्यु सामृतम् एव वा. थैंक यू प्रभु जी.
Hare Leena Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. यदि स्युर्बहवो लोके शास्तारो दण्डधारिणः कस्य स्यातां न वा कस्य मृत्युश्चामृतमेव वा. थैंक यू प्रभु जी. हरे कृष्ण.
Thank you, Mataji. Dr. Shakti Avasthi Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु. यदि स्युर्बहवो लोके शास्तारो दण्डधारिणः कस्य स्यातां न वा कस्य मृत्युश्चामृतमेव वा. हरे कृष्ण.
Thank you, Mataji. Shakti Mataji, could you read the synonyms for us?
हाँ, श्योर प्रभु. यदि if, स्याह there are, bahava many, loke in the world, shastrah rulers or controllers, dandadharinah who punish the sinful man, kasya of whom, syatam there may be, na not, va or, kasya of whom, mrityu distress or unhappiness, cha and amritam happiness, eva certainly, va or. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Dr. Shakti Avasthi Mataji. Thank you for reading the synonyms. Translation. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If in this universe there are many rulers and justices who disagree about punishments and rewards, their contradictory action will neutralize each other and no one will be punished or rewarded. Otherwise, if their contradictory acts fail to neutralize each other, everyone will have to be both punished and rewarded. This is what Yamdutas feel when there are more masters than one. This is what happens. Purport. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Because the Yamdutas had been unsuccessful in carrying out the orders of Yamaraja, they doubted whether Yamaraja actually had the power to punish the sinful. Although they had gone to arrest Ajamila, following Yamaraja's order, they found themselves unsuccessful because of the orders of some higher authority. Therefore, they were unsure of whether there were many authorities or only one. If there were many authorities who give different judgments, which could be contradictory, a person might be wrongly punished or wrongly rewarded, or he might be neither punished nor rewarded. According to our experience in the material world, a person punished in one court may appeal to another. Thus, the same man may be either punished or rewarded according to different judgments. However, in the law of nature, in the law of nature or the courts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there cannot be such contradictory judgments. The judges and their judgments must be perfect and free from contradictions. Actually, the position of Yamaraj was very awkward in this case of Ajamila because the Yamadutas were right in the attempting to arrest Ajamila, but the Vishnu Dutas had baffled them. Although Yamaraja, under these circumstances, was accused by both the Vishnu Dutas and Yamdutas, he is perfect in his administering justice because he is empowered by the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. Therefore, he will explain what his real position is and how everyone is controlled by the Supreme Controller, the Personality of the Godhead. We are entering into the third chapter of this canto, and we learned a lot in first two cantos, first two chapters. The second chapter, as we realized, was mainly with the Nama and its potency and advantages of Nam Japa. This chapter characteristically goes through four aspects. The first 10 verses mainly speak about Vishnu Dutas, uh, sorry, Vishnu Duta's questions. I'm sorry, Yamaduta's questions. Yamaduta are asking series of questions because they are the one who got the defeat for the first time. They went to pick up someone which was refused, argued against, and defeated, and was being taken away by Vishnu Dutas. So this was the first defeat of Yamdutas, and so naturally they are revolting and asking questions. So first 10 verses go into Yamduta's questions about the control, controller, punishment, rewards, etc. The second lot of verses from 11 to 21 mainly goes through the Yamraja's explanation. And here, Yamraja very cordially and nicely explains to all his subordinates and dutas about the position of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead as a controller and the devotees, their position, and lastly, the Bhagavad Dharma. So next 11 to 12 verses are going to speak about the position of the Lord, the devotees, and the Bhagavad Dharma by Yamraja, and that is the teaching of Yamraja. The third section of this chapter is mainly from 22 to 30 verses, about 9 of them, which is Yamraja glorifying the chanting. And the last section, up to 39 verses, is the Sukdev Goswami glorifying the chanting. So if you really look at it, the middle section of the last chapter and last half of this chapter are by glorification by different people. Here in this chapter, the glorification of the chanting is done by Yamraja and by Sukadeva Goswami. So I'm sure you understand one real thing, that basically first three chapters in fact are for the glorification of the chanting. And that's how the whole thing goes. Let's look at what our other acharyas also say so that the things become very clear. It is very clear, explained very well by Srila Prabhupada, but it would be even further clearer once we read other acharyas. Srila Prabhupada has kindly adopted some of these areas of acharyas. I am going through Sarartha Darshini, which is by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. For the fourth verse, he says in his commentary, though we defeat all the others in the world, we have suffered defeat from the four persons with four arms. This is what has been said by the Yamadutas. After punishing them, we will then bring Ajamila to hell. If we cannot do so, we are servants of a firefly. After these, we can no longer serve you. So this is an extreme rebellion of the servants against the boss, Yamraja, thinking that if your words are not, your orders are not strong enough, we would not like to serve you. And they are as bad as fireflies. Fireflies, you know, that doesn't really remove the darkness, only shows the presence of their presence by showing a light for a fraction of a second. Thinking in this way internally with chalked syllables, so this is all emotional. They have been defeated, they have been very emotionally affected, and that's why they are revolting against their boss, thinking that their boss is not worthwhile anything. So you can understand the grade of devotion that they must be putting in their day-to-day work, considering Yamraja as their chief and respecting him so much. They then challenged Yamraja. Traividyam means three types. The word used here is Traividyam, and that's for the three gunas. The last verse, the fifth verse, where the Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives a beautiful commentary. The crux of the Prabhupada's commentary is that material world is fallible, and that's why there are several courts. One lower court might give you a punishment, and you go to a higher court which might acquit you and reward you. So there is no consistency as far as the punishment and rewards are concerned in the material world. But at the same time, Srila Prabhupada explains in his purport that the law of nature are not like that. Law of nature means the laws which are prevailing in the courts of Lord himself. And they are either punishing or rewarding. They are firm, and judgments do not change once the judgment is taken. Here we are going a little further. If there are many controllers, what is the problem? There are two results. Now, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is going further, and this is very beautiful, very nicely done. He says that if there are many controllers and judgment givers, then look at the judgment. There are two possibilities. There are two results for any action, either going to hell, that is mrityum, or going to heaven, that is amrutam. Among all the rulers who desire to give these two results, which are one well award these results. If there is an agreement on the result, then everybody is giving the same result. And so that cannot be considered as a judgment. But if there is a disagreement, then one will award the punishment and the other will award the reward. So there is a gross contradiction possible, and this would certainly result in a gross mass up of the world. Especially, it is said that either the punishment is given to the same person who would also get the reward, or people would neither get punishment or not the reward. They're explaining a little further to go into the depth of it, and depth looks quite nice. So we looked at first 5 slokas, and we realize here that now the Yamadutas are questioning Yamaraja for all the problems that they are facing. First 2 slokas were based on questions of questions to Sukadeva Goswami by Parikshit Maharaj. And if you remember rightly, Parikshit Maharaj said, I haven't heard Yamaraja's order not being followed. That cannot happen. And so he raises the doubts, and here Sukadeva Goswami is explaining the great doubts of Yamdutas as well. Now these doubts are prominently mentioned here, considering that there are 2 main issues here. Number 1, Yamdutas want to know whether there is only a one ruler or one master, or there are many masters, because they feel that if there are many masters, then once judgment is given, that can be also countered by another master. So there could be more than one judgment for the same incidents. The second thing that they say is when there are many issues that ultimately end up into judgment, and these issues can have only one result. As such, there is only a possibility of 2 results. We are in the world of duality, and so either you can have a heaven, or you may not have heaven. So either you get a punishment or you get a reward. And so agreeing, all parties agreeing has no meaning, because that's not really a judgment. All parties disagreeing will certainly not have any benefit at all, because again, there does not remain a judgment. So they're trying to prove that if there is more than one master, it's going to create a big havoc. And then they actually are saying that those 4 armed Vishnudutas actually took away Ajamila from them. And so they are so furious and angry that they would like to instantly go back, take Ajamila back from Vishnudutas, defeat them, and then punish Ajamila as per the records and judgment of Yamraja. It's quite beautiful explanation of such a simple incident that has happened, how the hierarchy works, and these parts are part and principles of the management principles in any corporate sectors. There are rules and regulations that we all follow. And I always tell my residents, because residents or the doctors who are working under you also have certain limited powers. And that's why I never insult one person in front of his subordinate. That's the basic rule that comes out of it. If you do that, you are actually removing powers from that particular individual to work. So it's the same basic principles which are now we are getting into the corporate sector have been discussed in our sastras. Unless you give a power, unless you give instructions we are clear and dedicated, you cannot expect the work done efficiently. And so it is up to the leader to lead in such a way that the team is successful. It's always the leader. They say that if you have one tiger as a leader, then even if you take 1,000 ships, each of the ships would fight like a tiger. But if you have one ship who is a leader and you have 1,000 tigers with them, all the tigers would behave like a sheep. So it's the leadership which is most important, and that's what has been going to be concluded as we go further. Lord Krishna being the leader, being the master, being the absolute truth, being a Janma, and being controller of everything in the world. Unless such is existing, the world would end up into a chaos. Though this is just a material manifestation, specially designed for people like us who are rebellious, who want sense gratification, who want to become like Krishna, who want to enjoy the possessions of these material objects. We are going against the basic principles of the Lord. And so this material world is created, but that would also not work smoothly as it does now if there is no order kept. And that's why Lord has been running this material world for all rebellious people like us so smoothly, so perfect, that in spite of all this, everything runs well. And at the same time, he has kept the exits open as if those are the fire exits in this world. That if you want to decide and come on the spiritual side, or want to decide and go back to the Lord Himself, then there are possibilities of those exits. And those exits are manned by Krishna himself. He immediately comes into action and helps you progress further in that path and ultimately takes you back to him. So it's a wonderful arrangement by the Lord, and Srila Prabhupada is explaining part of it. As we go further, I'm sure we'll have more and more attractive areas coming into play. The whole incidence of Ajamila has been written to my mind to give the importance of the potency of the holy name of the Lord. We do not realize, and that's why Srila Prabhupada is consistently telling that please finish 16 rounds every day. There are so many overwhelming work that might come in, like you need to preach for an hour or two, or you might need to do this exam for this particular course, etc. And we tend to decide that, okay, we'll do the 16 rounds tomorrow. That is what Srila Prabhupada doesn't want us to do. He says, even if you do one thing in a day for your devotional service or for your bhakti yoga or bhakti marg, whatever you call it, that must be chanting. The importance is given because this chanting purifies the heart. And until our still heart becomes a soft heart, we will not be able to understand Lord Krishna, we will not be able to recognize him and we will not be able to feel his presence, his bhava and his prema. So we need our heart to be very, very soft and absolutely even better than a butter for us to go back to Krishna. Otherwise, with all the anarthas and all the offenses that our heart is filled up with, we'll never have any opportunity to go back. And that's why Srila Prabhupada is consistently saying us to do the 16 rounds or whatever rounds you are doing. That must be done irrespective of your busy schedule or the schedules which are for Krishna or the schedules which are part of the devotional service or part of your bhakti or going to temple, etc. Maybe you sit in a corner, in a quiet corner during a very busy day as well, but finish your 16 rounds. Finish your Nama Japa. That is very, very important. Through these 3-4 chapters, Sukadeva Goswami and Vyasadeva are explaining to us the importance and the potency of the Nam Japa. Any question, any doubts, any queries, any revelation, any addition, you are all welcome, please. Remember, I am one of you, so I have the same knowledge as you have. So let us share the knowledge and associate in the morning. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, won't the Yamadutas do not know about the Supreme Personality of Godhead?
Yamadutas know about the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. Certainly they do. But their power distribution, etc., unless they are explained by their bosses, Yamaraja, they do not know. So they are very dedicated persons, totally dedicated to the duties of Yamaraja, and whatever Yamaraja says, they absorb everything. And Yamaraja is being absorbed, and each and every part of his duty is done perfectly well to run this material manifestation well. So it is like Arjuna. In front of Arjuna, he has the whole world. But when he is asked what you see here, he sees only the eye of a bird. Then you have to remind Arjuna that there is a bird, there is a tree, there is a land there are people there. And then Arjuna comes back to his senses and sees everything else. So it is very similar to that. They raise their question because they are defeated. When you are in anger, when you are defeated, that's when you have lost your intelligence. You have lost your calm and composure. And so you ask questions which otherwise you would not have asked. Does this make any sense, Mataji?
Prabhuji, I think I'm reminded of the second canto where Narada asks questions to Brahma. Narada thinks that Brahma is the supreme.
Yeah.
Is it not, Prabhuji?
Yes, it's
So I'm
true.
just reminded of that.
Yeah. Narada thinks that his father is the person who has created the whole world, and then Brahma has to explain to him that he has only been helping creation of the secondary universe, and that too with the permission and the powers of the Lord himself. So he is just as we call nimitta matra. He is just a cause for the creation. Actually, he is not the creator. Very true, Mataji. Very nice revelation. Thank you very much.
That's what I was thinking. Both of them relate each other.
Very, very true. Very true, Shamataji. Thank you very much. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
If there are no other questions, Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Thank you very much for attending the class. We do appreciate your presence and association. And all of you have a wonderful Krishna conscious day. Hare Krishna to everyone.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. You too have a great Krishna conscious day, Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Hare,
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.